Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge. Welcome to the Inner Alchemy for January the 10th, leading us through to the 16th. Inner Alchemy is a blend of the teachings of human design, branching that off into the gene keys, and incorporating some tools as a more than existing Lightworker coach. As we are following along with the turning of the mandala wheel and really paying attention to the teachings of Capricorn season right now, we are entering through gate number 61, which is known as the gateway of inner truth. Now, this is the entranceway to the 111 portal, and you can really see that 111 portal as a second opportunity, a second chance to be honest with ourselves as we are contemplating on where are we headed? What is this new beginning? What is our alignment at this time? What is calling us forward? So it's like we're sitting at the crossroads of our choices and decisions, and we're really being guided now to have an honest conversation with ourselves. The gateway of inner truth is a pressure center. So we've been down in our root center, for about 3 weeks right now, really stimulating the pressure on us to be healthy, to intuitively know, to trust that the body knows what is healthy for you, and come into a deeper awareness as to how the inner world is talking to you, is communicating to you, helping us to become aware of our habits, our behaviors, encouraging us to not take shortcuts, but to really assess the foundation of yourself, the stability of yourself, questioning yourself to know, is that correct for you? So it's a reminder that we are all the author to our own story. This is your life. This is your experience. It is a gift that is given to each and every one of us, and an opportunity to really immerse yourself into the teachings of life, to allow that soul, that higher self to emerge, to help support you in your own evolution, in your own awareness of cultivating your gifts. But to get to that point, it requires an honest assessment as to the barriers that tend to hold us back. So as we are approaching this gateway of the inner truth and walking through its very beginning stages, we're down in the root chakra of this energy as I'm recording this on January the 10th. Then we'll move up through the sacral, the solar, into the heart center, then the throat, the third eye awareness. These are the various line items that are found within the gateway of 61 inner truth. This means that we have an opportunity to slowly and mindfully come into awareness on a daily basis as to the themes that are at play out in the macro, so the collective consciousness, bringing that more deeply into the self, the micro, to see, well, how is that playing out for you? And to use that as your guidance system to come home to yourself, to trust in yourself, to clear away those energies that are not serving your highest good. So there's a lot of talk right now about moving into the year of the horse. I've had this horse painting behind me for several months now, and not understanding or being aware at the time that we were moving into the year of the horse, but just having a deep connection and love for the horse myself. This painting behind me has offered a lot of encouragement of gentleness, of wisdom, of transformation. It is in the grays. It's got some of the whites that are transpiring around us. And how that feels within the physical body, within myself, is really looking at our ability to shine a light on those areas of ourselves, to get more clarity, to bring our habits to the forefront, to bring our tendencies to want to run, or the parts of us that are untamed, they're still wild and they need some gentle coaxing, gentle reminders. But it's also a process of really setting ourselves free. Now, there's a lot of talk of this year of the horse that is coming with the Lunar New Year, and it is a fire horse. That means there's going to be a lot of yang energy, a lot of fire energy. It is masculine in nature, which means it's going to come with a lot of ego. So if we're not clear on the direction we are heading, unable to wield the power behind that push of energy, you may find yourself either really running out of steam very, very quickly, becoming exhausted, becoming frustrated, feeling like life is out of control, or pushing yourself forward prematurely and hitting dead ends, running really fast towards nothing. Right? And how many times do we act prematurely under the pressures of life, and then things don't go according to how we planned, how we imagined? They didn't meet our expectations. They had consequences we weren't prepared for. And those things do boomerang back and have to be dealt with within the self. So we know that this energy of the yang horse is coming, the fire horse is coming. We are anticipating that energy. Some of you may be feeling that energy. But here's the thing. That Lunar New Year doesn't occur until February the 17th, which means we're still in the year of the snake. We're not done this period of transformation. We're not done the shedding away of the old. You are in the last quarter mile of its teachings. So if we are focused too far ahead, we're not paying attention to what is here right now. And we've been going through a series of gateways that are really putting the pressure on us. It's the pressure to work on your foundation. The teachings of Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is very slow. It's very methodical. It teaches us all about life lessons, the structure, discipline, cause and effect. And if we're not willing to slow down under this pressure, this push right now, we're not going to have the clarity of what is correct for you. You might find yourself really moving quickly to join the bandwagon, to go in the direction that the masses are going in. That is the collective pressure. But this energy, this gateway of inner truth, is really asking you to question that, to ask why. Why are you moving in that direction? Why is that affecting you? Is that correct for you? So we're moving through right now what is known as the shadow of psychosis. Now, psychosis could be looking at whenever we believe a perception of reality to be the only truth, that is psychosis. So we can really look at ourselves, look at humanity with some humor and go, we're all a little psychotic because we all believe that our version of reality is the truth. And life does feel personal. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own preferences. We all have our own comfort zones. We have our feelings. We have our emotions. We have our physical body that is still very much operating from a fight or flight response. So it self-protects itself. Therefore, we have developed a mindset, a coping mechanism to help us cope with life, to give us an anchor in the storm, to help with a reassurance, a predictability to speak of that helps to move you through that uncomfortable. But here's the catch to that. If we're not willing to face what is uncomfortable, if we're not willing to go deeper into ourselves to really question our patterns, our habits, our reactive nature under the pressure, we don't get deep enough to those parts of us that were underdeveloped. And perhaps they were underdeveloped because you weren't taught that you could feel somebody else's emotions, or you could feel somebody else's fears. Perhaps you weren't taught that you have the ability to take in through your heart center the collective energy of self-worth and self-esteem. And now there's a conditioned belief system that you have to prove yourself, that you have to do more. Perhaps you have a open head center, so you are hearing the collective thoughts. You are picking up on the worries and stresses of others. Unless we really get to know ourselves at an energetic level, we can't then move forward into building the trust of your own inner guidance. We do feel deeply. We are affected by others. We are meant to travel this journey as one, as humanity, but we each have a role to play in that. So we're being asked to come back into the self, to really connect with your inner truth, to call on the gift of inspiration at this time, to inspire yourself, to motivate yourself, to build your self-confidence, your self-esteem. And some of us might be starting at the root level of that, meaning you're working on your physical body. And I know that is where I am. And there's nothing wrong with being on that first floor, being in the foundation of yourself. Because here's the thing. All foundations are meant to deteriorate over time. Look at buildings, look at structure, look at the human body. As we age, we deteriorate. And I know for myself, being at that age of moving into menopause, moving into the crone energy, there's a lot of pressure down in the root center, down in this new body that I'm having to make peace with. And perhaps you're feeling that for yourself. Perhaps you've been going through life changes that have thrown you off course, or they have challenged you in your material world, in your financial world, in your stability, in your confidence. And that might be your starting point to move back into the inner truth of yourself to assess, what do you need to work on and why? And not in a position of berating yourself or judging yourself, but being very honest as to how the body is lovingly communicating to you, preparing you for this faster energy that is coming. So if we try to act too fast, too quickly, you're not going to be ready for that year of the horse. And I had a beautiful experience a couple years back there was a lady by the name of Bree that gave me some horseback riding lessons here on Vancouver Island. And I've had a love for horses my entire life. I've never been able to own a horse, but there's been periods of time in my own journey where I've met friends and they've had horses and I've been able to do a little bit of riding. I can remember I had a week of riding lessons when I was, probably about 10 years old, a gift from my parents. It just happened to fit into the financial budget at that time. And it was a true gift. So that love of horses has always been there. And I had an opportunity working with this lady on Vancouver Island by the name of Bree, who is a barrelback rider, and she is phenomenal. She's phenomenal in her ability to literally become one with her horse, to be able to ride her horse, and just by using very subtle movements within her thighs, her legs, how she presses into the horse itself, that horse knows how to stop, how to move, how to turn, how to pivot. And it is such a gentle energy, but yet it is a commanding energy. It is an authoritative energy, and it is a clear energy. Because here's the thing, horses are wisdom teachers. They feel your fear, and they are here to teach us to have confidence, to know how to clearly communicate, to be able to pivot on the spot, and to not lose our center balance. So as a new rider myself, learning to have horseback riding lessons and learning how to do it properly, well, I found myself unable to go forward for very long periods of time. One of the reasons was the physical body. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of muscles, especially in the legs, your foundation, to be able to sit on a horse, to move with a horse, to feel comfortable riding a horse. It takes a lot of core strength in the stomach area to keep yourself in alignment so that you're not being thrown all over the place when you are riding. And it takes the belief within yourself so that the horse knows you trust it. So if you're not trusting yourself, if you're not working on the foundation of yourself, looking at your health, your well-being, your physical strength, your energy levels, if you're not clear in your own emotions and your own fears, how can we expect to move forward? So you're being asked at this time through this gateway of inner truth to slow yourself down, to start questioning your whys, to notice how this pressure, the pressure in the form of stress that we were with for the first couple of weeks, since about the beginning of December until now, and now the shift of energy of the form of pressure as a mental pressure coming down this way. So if we're not willing to allow the pressure to descend without jumping into action, without hurrying to do something before getting the clarity, then you're not rising to your full potential. So we are still in the year of the snake. We have another month to go. You are in the last quarter mile before we get to the energy of the horse. This is transformation. It is shedding away the skin. It is not easy. There is no shortcuts. We have to do the hard work. And I was reminded from a beautiful poem that my dear friend and teacher, Mystic Corey Thorne Cameron, shared on her page the other day. And it was the encouragement that, yes, we can do the hard work. It starts by having confidence in yourself. It starts by taking care of the physical body. It starts by being willing to sit with the truth of your feelings, your emotions, to allow it to communicate to you, to be very honest with yourself, to say, you know what, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to have that conversation. I'm afraid for change. I'm afraid that I won't have the skill set. I'm afraid that I won't be able to do that very well. This is the reality of feeling the energy and reminding ourselves that, yes, we can do the hard stuff. You can have the conversations. You can start to rebuild your life. You can pick yourself up and move yourself forward. It means moving into the gift of inspiration, moving in through the mindset, being honest with what is going on, and inspiring yourself to move forward to the best of your ability. This isn't a push, but it's being mindful and slowing down enough to ask yourself, what do you need today and why? Get clear, work on the foundation, notice how this pressure is affecting the body. And it might be enough of an exercise just to breathe and relax and calm down the nervous system, knowing that the pressure is on right now. Can you give yourself permission to step back, to get clear before stepping in? You may not be ready to jump into that race. So be mindful of this energy. Really embrace the 111 portal. This is a second chance at a new beginning, an alignment that is going to help you complete the full circle of the wheel and spiral up into a higher version of yourself instead of having to repeat that circle, that pattern over and over and over again. Until we start to question ourselves, until we get clear enough on our own whys, we can't move past what is our sabotages, our roadblocks, our fears, our suppressions. So you are being empowered right now in this energy of inner truth to call in your support team, call in Archangel Michael, the angel of strength. Ask for the clarity, ask for the guidance, ask for help to release those chains that have been keeping you held back. Call in the strength to have the energy to do the work that needs to be done to help move yourself forward. And be patient with yourself. You might be working with some energy, some tasks within yourself, some finances, some relationship issues that they're not going to be completed overnight. But maybe there's a plan to do a little bit at a time and to know that eventually you will be on top of that mountain. You will be on top of that challenge you did not think you could overcome. And then you're going to start moving on the other side of that challenge. And someday you will be beyond that challenge, looking back at it and saying, wow, I'm really proud. I'm really proud that I didn't give up. I'm really proud that I stayed motivated, that I stayed inspired, that I had the confidence to do it. I'm really proud because that was not easy, but it's worth it. So I'm sending you all lots of love, lots of support. If you want some additional tools that may be of service to you, pop by the website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. You can create your free human design chart. There's some tools there to help you get started. There's a whole series of self-guided courses, including the teachings of Capricorn season, and then moving into Aquarius season. So trust what feels right for you. Know we are not in this journey alone, and move into your own inner guidance system to see where do you need support? What does that support look like? And does it resonate with your truth? Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Take care.